Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to part 3 of Free For All this week. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Barnett, alongside Chuck Nally.
Man, you know what I heard? I heard Sony's getting rid of those Vita discs.
Evan
Bastards.
Swafford.
Be a good thing to talk about on a games podcast, wouldn't it?
Yeah, breaking news.
And Trey Elliott.
SpaceX.
No,
Yo.
space sex.
That's what he
that's
said.
what I said. God damn it, Josh.
God, how stupid would I have to be to mishear
Great
that?
Halloween.
Maybe if you were like way on the other end of the table, it'd be harder to hear me. So fuck you.
SpaceX.
So now I actually
Right.
don't know which one he said.
SpaceX.
Oh yeah,
See?
that one. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I heard you.
You get
It's
it?
very clear.
Easy.
Definitely would never be any confusion
No.
unless you're Josh. Then there's always confusion.
I'm a little confused right now. I'm not going to lie. Time to talk about the games we've been playing in New2U. Let's start with some mobile games here. Chuck,
Yes, sir?
5 seconds. What's Orbia?
1,
3.
2,
Wait, what?
3.
What's happening?
You
You're,
said-
no, you're
4,
counting to 15. No, 30. We
5.
split the difference.
All right, it's over.
Okay.
All right, that
I'm
was
fine with
Orbia. Good job, developers of Orbia. We love that game.
Time's up.
All right.
it. Let's go.
Who played NBA Live?
Me.
Okay, go on.
As a
No
mobile
time
game?
limits. Yeah. This is actually really good. It's a really good game.
Is it like EA?
Yeah.
Interesting.
James Harden's the cover boy. They got real NBA licenses. You win games, you open up packs of cards and get better players. It's very similar to Tap Sports Baseball. That it does have directional control on
So
it.
it has like a joypad on it.
It does, but it's actually pretty good, and it's intuitive as far as like if you want to do a layup. Stop looking at me like that. Or pull up for a jumper. It's very intuitive. I was surprised. Freeman loves this game. He's been playing it for a few months now, and I played it this past weekend, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good.
Trey, I know that you're playing Tap Sports Baseball. I get notified.
Yeah. I was just reminded I haven't played in a couple days.
I haven't played in a couple weeks.
I know.
But
I've
yeah,
won several games
I'm
against you because you forfeited.
I'm pleasantly surprised of how good this game is. It's not just apt; it's good. It's a good game.
All right, then.
Surprising. It's
It is-
way better than
It is
Madden
app
was.
though.
Apt. App.
Pupil?
Yes. Who was in that? Is that Devin Sawa?
It's Pupil.
Usually is.
And Ian McKellen was in it.
Ian McKellen was in it.
He was a Nazi.
Yeah. it
No,
was
wasn't that Brendan Fraser?
No.
Or was that Gods and Monsters?
What?
Gods and Monsters.
Brendan
Suck.
also. Not
I said
Brandon.
Brendan.
You said Brandon.
I did not.
You said Brandon.
That's
I
not
did
his
not.
name, Josh.
You know what I've been playing?
No.
Brendan
Marvel
Fra-
Strike Force.
All right.
This game's actually really fun.
You
I
spent
mean-
money on it?
No,
You had to think about it, though.
I did have to think about it. I haven't spent money on a game in quite some time. Probably a year, actually. Thank you very much.
I
God of War.
almost spent money on Tap Sports Baseball the other day.
Oh, no, I did. I bought the no ads on Tap Sports Baseball. Fuck! It was only $1.
I'm
You
glad
gotta
I
get
said
back on
that.
there, man.
Yeah, I wasted that $1 otherwise. So Marvel Strike Force is exactly the kind of game
Brad
I play.
Renfro.
There it is. Is he alive?
I don't know. Hold on.
Sure.
Continue, Josh.
Look into that. This is the kind of game I play on mobile. It's like the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or the DC Legends game. It's where you create a team of 5 characters. This time it's all Marvel. And it's essentially a turn-based RPG in a way. It's just fighting waves of enemies. There's like a clan system that you can create or create a guild rather. Go up against raids, earn shards to unlock different characters. Like I'm really close to unlocking Thanos right now. It's one of the more polished versions of this game. Like the animation is incredibly well done, and there's variations to every move that you do. Sometimes you can like team up with other members of your party. So like I've got Spider-Man, Black Panther, Wolverine, the Punisher, and then healer who's from the Hand on my team. It's because she's a better healer than the Shield medic.
Is it a character or a random hand member?
Hand sorceress.
Okay.
So,
So,
yeah,
random
just a rando.
hand person.
But like
Demon.
randomly once every 20 or 30 like attacks with Spider-Man, he'll go up and attack somebody, and the Punisher will come up behind him and like just start shooting the guy as well, or start attacking him and like
That sounds like the Punisher.
and double teaming him in a way. Or
It checks out.
it's really cool. Like I actually really enjoy it. Got to get my dailies in one way or another. Now I've got 2 games I'm
Thank you
currently
for
getting my
bringing that
dailies
back
in:
up.
a DC and a Marvel.
You should
Double
play-
dailies.
You should play Tapped Out.
I mean, I should, because I did pay $1 for it, and I'll probably eventually play another game of that. But
Paid $1 for Tapped Out?
oh, I thought you said Tap Sports.
Oh, the
SpaceX.
Eternal Chuck game.
No, I should not play Tapped Out. That's more like a not like a Farmville type thing, but it's kind of like that, right? You're building your town or whatever, and like you're just getting like hourly rewards or whatever for the buildings you have.
Jayla plays a game like it's called Heyday. She plays it like crazy.
Heyday.
Brad Renfro hasn't been in a movie since 2008.
Is it because of a stopping of life
Sudden no longer livingness.
or the IRS? It's one of the two.
Yep, he did die.
I knew he died. I thought he did.
Yep, January 15, 2008. Rest in peace. He was 25 years old.
What?
2008. That was before Hey Who Died though, so we wouldn't know about that.
It's very. We do illuminate the world. Overdose is the answer.
Okay, well we have to know. I
He's
was
born
gonna
in
move on.
Knoxville.
In Nutsville?
Yep, Nutsville.
SpaceX?
What's Mr. Gunn?
It's kitchen.
Yeah, it is. God damn it! All right, Mr. Gunn. It can't be so basic as to just be like a side scroller where you got a guy with
You
a gun.
got a gun.
You jump by tapping, and you double tap to shoot.
So you're saying it can't be that?
Yeah, so
Okay.
instead, Mr. Gunn is an anthropomorphized gun running around and shooting people out of his nose, which is the barrel of the gun.
No.
I don't know what Mr. Gunn is. I straight up can't even figure that one out.
It's a side-scrolling game. No, it's
I swear to God.
No, it's like a little leveler. Like he basically there's stairs going up and he's going through different levels. And he walks up and the gun immediately starts going up and down at an angle. It's an angle, like you choose your angle based game. You have different guns that do, which means you have a different levels of like damage and different levels of like how far out like your little aiming device goes. Bonus points for headshots, but the more levels you make it through, the longer like you I'm on level like 75, so I have to make it through like 25 people. And every time you hit one, you go upstairs, and there's a different angle for the next guy. And before there's a boss fight, which requires multiple hits for each one, and it gets more and more, and they take more and more damage. But if you miss even once, like you start the level over. Like you just can never miss. Is the whole purpose of it.
Okay.
It's addictive and it goes fast, and it's very easy to really never miss if you take your time. But if you want to like go fast and get all headshots, then it can be addictive because you have to you do it a lot.
Okay, then. So a catch-up game.
Yeah, I'm weirdly obsessed with it.
Your high score, you said, was...
I'm on level 75,
okay.
which in like the more you go, like consecutive headshots give you more points. I like my high score is like 6,000 or something like that. But
Okay.
Yes, he overdosed.
Uh-huh.
He was arrested a lot
Uh-huh.
in Knoxville and in Florida one time for trying to steal a yacht that was still attached to the dock. And 2 days before he died, he had a tattoo on his back that said, "Fuck all y'all." So there you go. Apt pupil indeed.
Yep.
Well, then. I've been
Should
playing...
have got Devin Sawa.
I'm gonna look him up. See what he's been up to.
He was in that shitty ass ABC show last year. Somewhere between. Somewhere between.
I've been playing a little the Harry Potter Hogwarts mystery.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about getting into that.
It's getting a lot of shit for being nothing but microtransactions and like.
Yeah, I've
gotta
heard that, which
pay
has
to win.
delayed me from trying it out.
It's why I stopped playing it, not because I hit those walls, but because that's all I kept hearing about it, and I was like, well, I'm just depressed. This is an interesting game. It's kind of really fucking basic. It's just a lot of
basic bitch.
It kind of is. It's a lot of like tapping.
That should have been funny.
Like so, there's a story set within the Harry Potter world. Basically, this takes place before Harry went to Hogwarts. Essentially, Evan does not care about Harry Potter.
I'm thirsty.
It takes place essentially right after Voldemort attempted to kill Harry. So like you start as a first year, you create your character, you like can name him whatever you want, and you're a first year whose brother was like one of the first people or one of the most recent people to be expelled from Hogwarts and then like go missing. And so you kind of have this Harry Potter like mystique around you. Like everybody who's in school knows who you are and they kind of blame you for your brother being a piece of shit and being like expelled for trying to find some secret that you're not supposed to in Hogwarts. Same basic bullshit, but once you actually get to Hogwarts, like Dumbledore talks about the fact that Harry is the boy who lived and that Voldemort failed in his attempt or whatever.
You're a wizard.
And then the rest of the game is just going to classes so far. I haven't gotten to any more of the story mode.
Terrible.
It kind of is. I was really excited for it, but so far not really like super loving it. The last time I played was before the Avengers Midnight because it came out around that day. A lot of like the spell casting is like doing the wand motions but following like an outline on the screen.
They did that with Wii.
Yeah, exactly what they did with
There's
the Wii.
also a free game a few years ago that did that, and it was kind of fun. I don't remember what it was. Sorry.
Zelda did that one time too. A DS
we played
game.
it one night when we were all drunk at my house, and I don't remember what the name of the game was. I'm going to have to find that.
I don't know.
Trey, you got any thoughts?
Nope.
I tried to bring you in, man.
I don't remember the name of that game.
It's incredibly well polished. Like they definitely put a lot behind this game, but I don't know if I'll ever go back to it. It's probably just going to get deleted eventually. It sent me a lot of push notifications in the first day. It was like, get to class, motherfucker. And I was like, fuck you. And then it
That's
stopped sending
very like not like Hogwarts to say that.
it. It is like Hogwarts though.
Hogwarts. It's a Hogwarts life, Josh.
For us.
Last mobile game, Rotator.
Yeah,
Cuff?
that was a Trey ass joke,
It
man.
really was.
Thank you.
What is Rotator?
I thought you were going to
It's
say
a
you didn't
catch-up
even
game.
know her.
It's the second catch-up game, the elusive
That's a
second
jug-ass
catch-up
joke.
game.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So, is this the game that I've actually seen advertisements for?
If you have played a catch-up game, then probably.
I haven't played a catch-up game since you first were introducing us to catch-up, or right before your last phone stopped being able to play video games.
You played Zigzag?
Yeah, but your phone worked back then.
No, I know. I'm just saying Zigzag was still the best catch-up.
I mean, I enjoy catch-up games. I just haven't played one. This isn't the one that has it's like the bouncing, like the perpetually bouncing ball or whatever, and you rotate a platform around like a pole basically, and you try and get the ball down without hitting certain areas of the platforms.
It is not.
Okay, then that's what I got.
No other guess.
No, wait. Okay, hang on. So instead, you're rotating gears. And you are trying to work a puzzle out, like there are certain sections of the gears that fit into other gears, and you're trying to create a path for a ball to be... Okay, fine. What is it?
It's literally just like a long like cylinder tube that like twists and turns, and you're a ball rolling down. And if you hold your thumb down, it rotates the cylinder. And there are like traps that you have to rotate to keep the ball rolling. If you hit them, you die.
I feel like I would have
There are
gotten
like
there eventually.
holes for it to go.
Let me
through.
guess, you're strangely addicted to this game.
No, it's not that fun.
What's your high score?
Like 50 something.
Oh, I could beat that.
I highly doubt it. And if you did, I would dominate you.
That's how you get Evan involved in a catch-up game, really.
It's
as
who
soon
I
as
am, Josh.
You beat his score once, and then it's all he'll play. What was the Facebook game? That
Where you were so happy when everybody was like, "Holy shit, Josh!" and then I like doubled.
It was something wing.
You played
No,
on
no,
that
Everwing.
Endless
No,
Lake.
Everwing.
Oh.
Yeah, Everwing is the one that I straight
Yeah,
dominated.
I never played it.
everyone
I
in.
never played that game.
Um,
It was Endless Lake.
That was the one. I really like that game a lot, though.
Endless Lake. It's super fun.
That was Monument Valley the Runner.
Not
kinda.
Yeah.
really. I mean, it had the same aesthetic. Of
Yes.
it, surely, yeah.
That's what that... Yeah. There's no other way I could have phrased that.
I mean, it's in no other way like Monument Valley.
It's Monument Valley Runner.
Remember running
He's
with
running.
friends?
I dominated you.
Yeah, fuck you for that, by the way. God, that made me so mad.
What was it,
playing you.
Space Team also you guys used to play?
Space Team!
I still have it on my
That's
Come
a
on.
phone.
cooperative game.
I love
so-
Space Team!
Yeah, Space Team's amazing.
Oh my god, let's play that tonight.
I have it on my phone
While
right
watching
now.
Brockmire.
Trey's out. He's
Yeah,
got to go
that's
home.
correct.
Yeah.
Of course. How many times you looked at your watch?
I don't have a watch on, so none.
I can't see over that hand. I couldn't tell. There it is. Okay. Wakanda Forever.
Sure.
Where'd your
She
Apple
just-
Watch go? Is it like
I sold it.
embedded it under your skin?
Nope, I sold
It
it.
just pops out.
How much?
I'm not saying that on air.
Was it more than 4?
More than $400?
No.
What's happening?
More than 4 p.m. What?
Another
What is?
Was it more than $4?
Yes, more than $4.
Right.
Mm.
What a steal.
You are on a space team.
God, I love that game so much.
Get ready for
All right,
the
let's
space
get into this.
team.
Who played? Was Chuck?
Yay.
Chuck, was it you that played Fall 2?
No.
We've talked about that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought
did
we
we?
did.
Oh, okay.
Well, I haven't.
I looked at the notes before and it wasn't on there, so
It's
I,
on the show that will come out one day.
That is right.
That and Fife.
Oh yeah, Fife.
Fea?
You son of a
You better
bitch.
be glad I'm out of punching distance here.
The guy at the post office would yell something right now.
True story. You want to give an update on Far Cry 5?
I mean, I beat it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Uh-huh.
It's got so the boss fights in this one are much more meaningful than the boss fights in the previous Fallout games. Even Voss. Voss is still by far my favorite Far Cry villain or adversary. Just the way that he was written and acted. But the boss fight for Voss was very underwhelming, and I didn't like anything about it. I can't really say the same for any of these, except for Jacob. Jacob's boss fight is not fun, at least until you get to him. To get to him, there is a giant pain in the ass. Hopefully you do it better than I did, because I was getting really frustrated, and that was the first boss that I fought.
Yeah.
I fought the hardest guy first, apparently.
And you can play that game in any order you want to. It is highly suggested you go to John first, in which he would probably be the last one you fight. So my guess is you were a little underpowered, maybe.
Maybe. But this, and you'll understand when you get there.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
sure I
want to
will.
get into too much spoiler details here. Some of the side missions are the best side missions they've ever done, and they've brought back a lot of people from previous Far Cry games into this game, including Wilson. Did you meet Wilson? He had some sort of patriotic CIA mission where you had to.
Oh yeah.
He plays heavily in Far Cry 4. Like probably half. No, not half. Probably a third of that
Now
game.
you say that, I do remember him.
So-
I think I got to Wilson when I stopped Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
And only played multiplayer.
And Herc is in. He's DLC and part of the a pre-order bonus in Far Cry 3 and 4. He has to do with dynamite and monkeys, and he talks about monkeys a lot in this
like
game.
an annoying amount.
It's awesome.
It's kind of funny, but
I love it, man. And then you get Sharky. One of the main reasons I love this game.
Because you can hear their voiceover. I know what Sharky sounds like.
Yes. Well, Sharky, hey, how's it going? But he's like, hey, is that fucknut still president? You know, that orange Russian? Like, he's got very, very, a lot of them have political commentary, but man, all of the Drubmans are fantastic. Herc is one of them. He's the son of the guy that's running for senator. Herc
Herc
Sr.
is really funny. He's counterintuitive to how I like to play Far Cry.
He is not a stealth character, no.
If you have him equipped to go with you, he's just like, you're like sneaking up, you're highlighting people, and he's like, let's kill him! And he shoots a rocket launcher at him, and you're
Sweet.
like, well, shit.
Yeah, the stealth is gone with him. Same thing if you get any of the flyers, like you can get his mom, Adeline. And
I got the guy at the very bottom of the map as my flyer right now.
yeah, Nick Wright.
Yeah, Nick.
But Adeline has a helicopter called Tulip that will fucking light shit up. You can take once you unlock Tulip, you can also fly it and select her, so you can have dual like A-team level helicopters, like
That's
two
pretty cool.
Airwolves, just laying waste to outposts. It is almost unstoppable.
If you have a armored helicopter in that game with a machine gun on it, you're basically unstoppable already. If you can fly it at all.
Tulip is fast, but it's not heavily armored. It can get knocked out of the sky pretty easy. But with that, the gun that's on there, you hit somebody. You remember that gun in 4 that we hit somebody with, and they just fly way far away.
Yeah.
That's what that gun does to people. Also, there's what do they call them? It's not like herbals or whatever. It has something to do with that, pharmaceuticals. Have you taken any of those yet?
Mm-hmm.
If you get the power one, the one that punches, it is awesome. You hit people in the chest and they fly away, even at like grizzly bears and moose.
Yeah, it's incredible. I beat. I'm as far as you
Meese.
can get with those.
Sorry.
Up until like
Squirrel.
later in the
My
game,
mistake.
because you can only do so much in the first half of the game, and before you unlock
Mhm.
more. But yeah, I've done all the ones I can so far for that.
The
His little like encampment where you have to run around the
Oh,
city
yeah.
and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love doing that.
that was fun. That was fun. There's a lot. There's a guy that's up in Jacob's region that wants you to go and kill meat and like so he can grill it up or whatever.
Yeah.
He is unintelligible. He has subtitles to what he says, and it's hysterical.
I play
man.
with subtitles on anyways.
Man, I love that. The side missions are a lot of fun.
I
The
love that
Testy
game.
Festy is
Testy
really funny.
Festy is amazing.
You
You have to kill the bull whilst he's fucking.
and the the song in the background is
Yeah.
as you know.
No, yeah, I really enjoyed that game. Like, I took a break to play God of War, and then God of War ended up being much longer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I'm very excited to go back. It's still an amazing game.
The ending is my favorite ending to a Far Cry game, and that's over 3. 4 kind of left me wanting a little bit. I think I might like 4 overall better than this game as far as the environment is concerned. But
See, for me, this is my favorite environment. I never got to play enough of 3 for Voss to get me. But I did play enough where I was never big on Pagan. Like, I like the family.
Pagan was great.
I like the family a lot more than Pagan. Actually.
Pagan was great, but the rest of the villains in that game were pretty limited. Voss is just to me he's on another level. He's like Joker level crazy.
Right.
It was one of the things that got me. And the ending of Far Cry 3 is really cool too, where you're on that giant war helicopter and it's playing Flight of the Valkyries while you're just laying waste to the Caribbean. Essentially, this ending is better. It's just a much better way to wrap everything up, and it's surprising. So hold on to your butts.
Cool.
All right then. Let's keep talking about Batman season 2.
Oh, okay. It's like that is a podcast.
Yeah, but I'm not involved in this
You know what?
discussion.
Let's not keep talking. Let's all
All
just sit here silently.
Cool.
Okay, sorry. I thought for a split second there was a Captain Marvel trailer out, but it was just like a meet Captain Marvel, like give her history thing.
Gotcha.
But it was on MDB. I was like, what?
Gotcha.
I was like, we have to
They haven't
stop.
ruined our joke. A little bit. Are you guys talking spoilers for Batman?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave. I'll be back.
I think maybe we have to talk about that game. It's entirely.
figured I'd
it's
just make
entirely
sure.
story based.
So you guys both finished season 2
Yes.
Yeah, I finished mine
about
over a month ago.
Yeah, he did it a while ago. I was playing
Yeah.
God of War, and then I knew I couldn't beat Far Cry even if I went straight to that. So I knew I could beat Batman.
All right.
So I did not do that.
So where do you sit with it in terms of like better than season 1, worse than season 1?
Way better.
Okay.
Like this.
Significantly better.
I
really enjoyed
And
season 1.
admittedly, I'm not as high as a lot of people in season 1. I thought it was a fine game. It was fun playing as Batman, but middle of the road, like Telltale game, like nothing special.
Yeah, to me, it's my second favorite Telltale series. I
with-
liked the first episode of this. I just never got around to it.
You would like
Kinda-
this a lot. Then
Woo.
Yeah.
it's
I know a lot of
this
what
is
happens.
like to me. It's The Wolf Among Us and first 2 Walking Dead's and Tale from the Borderlands and this. And then there's a clear line drawn between them and everything else. But this certainly belongs with all those games.
Take that, Minecraft story mode.
And then I enjoy that game. I really enjoy. I liked the third Walking Dead. I really enjoy Game of Thrones. But there is a big gap between those 5 and the rest of the games. I think.
Okay.
Dude, the character development in this story is ridiculous for almost everybody, especially
I will say
John.
in just
I was going to
episode.
say, getting into the Joker.
Just episode 5 of this game had so many possibilities. There are more dialogue lines written into episode 5, a 2-hour at best story, than there are for all of the Christopher Nolan trilogy combined.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
There's 4,800 lines of unique dialogue for this. That's insane.
The guy
Yeah.
that plays John / the Joker does just such a brilliant
He's
job.
really good. It's also
They wrote him very well too.
Yeah, that's from what I've heard. I mean, I liked him in season 1, and I really liked him in episode 1 of this. I kind of want to know your guys' path with him because it's kind of the whole crux of the.
It can be a Joker you've never seen before if you play it the right way. And I didn't know that there was multiple versions until I ended, and I started looking up, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Some people played an entirely different game than I did.
Well, let's go through a kind of
go through
a
the episodes.
Cliff's Notes,
Yeah.
version of it. The episode 1 is the build up where you meet the
This is the one we talked about. We talked about episode 1 when it
Yeah.
first came out. with
you
Waller.
meet the
Riddler,
and all that, and you get teased who the crew is
Yeah.
going into the episode 2.
the Pact.
The Pack, that's right. So you get to finally meet them in episode 2. You got Harley, Mr. Freeze, Bane, and John, of course.
Yeah, and Riddler was one.
Yes. Yeah, they murdered him.
Yes.
Somebody did.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. You're gonna have to refresh my memory because it's been a while. Episode 3 was. So at the end of episode 2, either Bane or Harley gets captured.
Yeah, well, you leave them behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you left,
The first time I played it through, I accidentally left Harley behind.
But you
and
meant to
John
keep-
went fucking ham. He was upset.
yeah, I left Bane behind. I didn't want to upset John.
Yeah, I didn't. Well,
Here's the brilliance of this game.
they left
It makes you
so
care
am-
about John.
It does, but it left that particular situation so ambiguous. I didn't know which one to. I didn't know if I went after Bane. It says prevent. Like the choice was prevent Bane from killing people or try to stop Harley. And I'm like, well, Bane is going to kill people. I'm Batman. I want to try to prevent him from
Yeah, you
killing
left
people.
her ass.
Yeah, man, she does this really cool Harley-ass thing too, where she like does a handstand and the splits on top of that car, and then like folds her legs together and comes around and smashes the hammer on
And
the
in this
windshield.
universe, Harley is very much
She's
like-
the Joker.
She's the Joker. She's the leader, and
She's still causing pudding and stuff like that, but he cows to her,
yeah, he is all his life is about like trying to impress
which was
her.
a very interesting dynamic. And Telltale is not afraid to you know
they
buck the
flipped
trends.
that whole universe on.
Yeah, they'll take storylines and threads.
Thomas Wayne
and-
was a horrible person.
Yeah.
you know, so
he's essentially the cause of the first game.
yeah,
Um,
still feeling it in season 2 as well.
Yeah, so you get Riddler's corpse, and you have to like scan his eyes.
You go on a You
Yeah,
go
help me
on-
out here. It's been so long.
You go on a heist to find out like what he was. He had a plan that the
Mhm.
pact was following, and Harley has figured out the whole plan except for where it is. They know that there is a Black Ops site that they're attacking that has something of high value.
Right.
But it's a
What was-
virus.
What was the name of that? The virus?
The name of there was a group that was a splinter cell. They called it the agency.
The Sanctum.
Yes, Sanctum or something. It's
Yeah.
something similar to that.
Yeah,
Santos
yeah.
or something like that. Which is a split off of the agency, which is early form of Argus.
Yeah.
Because Amanda Waller's in this, and she's kind of a
She's
ally
Waller.
slash villain. Yeah, which is Waller.
Yeah.
And playing into her is interesting, but the whole point is trying to figure out where that place is in 3, and then going through the heist, and then 4 is like kind of the repercussions of it, and like 4 is when the diverge happens on where you can go with Joker.
Right.
What happens in 3? Like, do you
The conversation at the bistro.
there's a surprising amount of choices that matter on where you go.
Yeah.
The conversation on the bistro, whether you tell him to be yourself,
Mhm.
or if you tell him to manipulate her.
Mhm.
I said manipulate.
So you got the Joker ending.
No, I didn't.
You got Vigilante Joker.
I did.
I did too.
I also got Vigilante Joker, which I'm very glad because it's a take on Joker I've never seen. There are choices that matter after that, like after.
Because I told him to be himself.
There's multiple endings for Vigilante Joker. There's 5 Joker endings.
That's awesome.
Yes, I watched all of them. It took hours. But yeah, that can change things, but you can also kind of make up for it. There's only a few that are like a hard line. You make this choice, this is the way it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, like when he's like, I'm going to go out to find out where Harley is. I'm going to go investigate this. And you're with Inez, and you can either let him go and say, I trust him,
Mhm.
or you can be like, I don't trust you and I'm following you.
Mhm.
If you don't trust him, that is a pretty hard to recover from. He's probably going Joker route. And then there's one other, I think up like on the rooftop or something like that. That's different.
Oh yeah, when you have
You
to,
can betray him. You can,
yeah.
You can trade his life for Harley, or no,
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
Catwoman, yeah.
And I walked away from that. I wouldn't betray John.
I didn't
on that.
either.
That's why he stayed in the vigilante thing. Him coming out, he comes out in like Joker Batman attire.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's incredible.
He's got batarangs with smiles painted on them, and he's like a
his
crack
grappling
shot.
hook is like teeth.
It's really cool, man.
He can fight.
Yeah, he can. It was like so many of my like just wildest imaginations come to light on that. But then
And
at
he's
the-
trying to be a good. He wants to be a
Yeah,
hero.
but he still
really
can't
does.
get past his
he
own
can't
nature.
get past his nature. of
correct.
it.
That's correct. And that's where he gets his name from. He's vigilante. He's the Joker. Batman and the Joker fighting crime.
Yeah, in our
Gotham.
ending, Joker is not a bad thing. He's like, I'm the Joker, and and he's like, where'd you get that? And he's like, I'm funny, and you can be like, it's kind of lame. He's like, oh,
I stayed silent, and he was just like,
I just
all right.
went, that's kind of lame.
That's funny.
But yeah, anyways, you do that and shit goes sideways, of course. He's got a virus. He's trying to do good, but he's collateral damage is crazy. He's murdering people by accident. But
And then at the end, he doesn't.
no.
He slaughters those Argus guys.
Your game ended with Joker at Ace Chemical.
Yes.
Okay, also me. And where he has the turn where, because I wouldn't let him kill Waller,
Uh-huh.
and he has a thing, and he's got a knife, and he's surrounded by 3 agency agents, and then like he snaps. When he turns, it goes.
Yeah.
I was like, Joker. I was like, holy shit. I was like, out
he
of nowhere.
murders the shit out of those 3 people. And
You
he's
have an
happy
awesome
about
fight.
it.
And I kept thinking I was throwing him in the chemicals, but you never do.
Nope, you just fight him a lot, and I wound up in that little office with like all the buttons and stuff like that.
That fight ends there, no matter what.
Oh, okay. It was just like really cool, the dynamics and the way the back and forth of the dialogue and all the choices and stuff.
It's
really
one of the
well-written.
better Joker Batman stories there is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So you go there. The different spoilers from here on out, like we'll go through several of the endings, just not 2 hours worth.
Okay.
So when you come to Vigilante, there's 3 endings from there. So you're very like the epilogue. He's in Arkham.
Right.
What happened for you?
The thing slides. He's like, Joker, you got a visitor.
You got a visitor, yeah.
And then you look out, and it's Bruce. And
you got Bruce. Okay, you got the same ending as me.
He goes.
Yeah, because you tell him that you were his friend.
Yes.
When he's like, you're just as crazy as me if I was really your friend.
Yeah.
And yeah, that gets you the Bruce ending.
Yeah.
If you were never friends at all, it cuts to and also at the end the game ends with you making the choice to either be Batman or give it up and keep Alfred because Alfred's leaving you.
Yeah, I heard he basically gives you the ultimatum.
What'd you do?
I let him walk.
I did too. I'm Batman.
Yeah.
He was kind of a bitch. I didn't like it at the end of the game.
Alfred was a bit of a bitch at the beginning of season 1 also.
Did he lose his eye in your game?
No.
Not mine either, but there is a version where he loses an eye.
How?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
Did you get shot through the ear with the little
I have a
hole?
piece missing, but I didn't remember how it happened.
That was from season 1.
Okay, yeah. So that can if you say we were never friends, I used you the whole time. It cuts to the kind of the same scene, but then the lights when the bat signal comes on at the end, he goes and looks out the window, and Batman, and instead of Bruce coming, it's Batman watching him like outside.
Gotcha.
And he's like, you can't buy enemies like these or anything like that. And
Right.
then there's one, if you say we were never friends, but you do give up being Batman for Alfred, you see the bat signal, and like he just starts screaming because Batman's like gone, he won't show up again.
Joker starts screaming?
Yeah, he's like, "Where are you?"
That's crazy.
The entire game can be different for you. There's for the last 2 episodes are completely different if you make some different choices. Where you have a more traditional Joker, the game never goes to Ace Chemical.
Really?
You end at the Funhouse.
Okay. Oh, the Funhouse level was awesome anyway.
Yeah, it was. And Catwoman is in the game way more if you go that route, except as Selina's in the game way more. He kidnaps you both and he starts holding people against you. Inez can die in that route.
Really?
You can basically go into your betrayal more, like with Selina, or you can kind of make up. Did you admit that it was you that stole the case, or did you pin it on Catwoman?
No, I took the blame.
Oh, I pinned it on Catwoman. It made smart. She did technically steal it, and I was like, she'll be fine. And she was mad. I mean, like really mad.
You think?
She gets locked in like one of the like Riddler little things, and I was like, oh, she might die.
They just threw me in the freeze chamber, the same one that Riddler was in.
Yeah. Well, they try to do that. It's
Oh,
broken.
Riddler. Never mind.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Now.
Yeah, they throw her in that, and then we just leave her for dead. And I was like, oh. She's gonna be mad. She was really mad. But you can make it out. But yeah, you end up the fun house. You end the game as Bruce instead of Batman. The whole thing is Bruce against Joker because Joker has figured out who you are. John has. Yeah. Because John and Joker are 2 very different people.
Correct.
And again, you still get the choice of like, were we ever friends? Except for it's him and Bruce, and it's almost a Killing Joke ending where like they end up side by side, and he's just laughing. And Bruce never laughs, but it seems like it's going that way. Like he stabs him in the side. Like it's bad. It's way more brutal and violent. But because he's a full on bad guy at that point, and he has embraced it. He's like doing a game show, and he's like for the whole like way for them.
That's
to
cool. I
escape.
think I might play that way.
You can at least YouTube it. I did. And I watched all that. And then he ends up still in Arkham, but with like different versions of that. On one, like he's putting lipstick on a Bruce doll, and then there's another version. Depending on what you do with Alfred, he like burns a Bruce doll alive.
Wow.
So it's really cool. What it did in season 3 of Walking Dead, and that game is divisive and not the best, but I liked it more than you.
To handle the relationship.
It was the first time it did the full relationship summary at the end, and it really made it matter. And you got constant updates at the end of every game of this one, and then a big overarching thing at the end. It makes it matter so much. That's the biggest. It really hadn't got enough attention to how much it's changed Telltale games.
So is Tiffany the worst?
There's 5 endings for Tiffany.
I hated her.
What happened with her with
This
you?
is Lucius Fox's daughter?
Yes.
She took over.
Was she an agent for you?
No, she wound up leaving and working with Waller.
Yeah, so she becomes part of the agency.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a superhero in mine.
What?
Yeah. I knew she could become a superhero.
If you didn't tell her you were Batman, huh?
Nope.
I did.
That's because she was a bitch leading up to that. Why would I tell her I'm Batman? She's like, well, like you do. I can't believe you're working with these guys.
I told her I was
Like
Batman,
you.
and it changes her. You can choose to work with her.
I wasn't willing to take that chance.
Well, I did. I was trusting, and everybody knows I'm fucking Batman in that game, evidently. So many people do. But yeah, she can be a superhero, and then she reveals that she's the one that killed Riddler because with a Jones shot because he is the one that blew up Lucius.
Yeah.
So she's been helping you. She's got all these tech, and she's got this drone that she uses. And at the end of the game, she like can put it on her back and fly away. It's cool looking, and she's super helpful in part of the game. It's the way better way to go than the agency route. But
you know what? If you're going to be straight up bitch, just be bitch all the way through.
But if you
100%
tell her
or
that she
nothing.
has to have her day in court and face justice, she becomes a super villain at the end. She flies away, and she's like, "You'll regret this." And she's like, "Now you're."
Oh, I would have liked that because I beat the shit out of her. She is the worst.
So she can become that, or you can be like, I can't condone killing, but you can also say, but your sentence is like your sentence is you have to work hard with me, and you need someone to guide you, and then she becomes a partner for you. Or you can do the agent route, or you can have her arrested. Waller, you can tell Waller she needs to be arrested, and you never see her again in the game if you do that.
Oh man, I should have done that.
But yeah,
if I'd have done that like right from the jump,
like there's
at the funeral.
I took pictures because it mattered. Like there's so many different ways, and it tells you like throughout the entire game. It's got a huge breakdown of what all created like the choices. Like, and I was in the minority for a lot. Like, I was 40% of players remaining, and I remain in a stalemate with Amanda Waller. Like she knows my. I negotiated well where she knows my secret, but she can't reveal anything because I've got dirt on her.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot of cool stuff.
Sanctus, that's what it was.
Sanctus. I ended up in a good thing with Jim.
I wound up recovering
Catwoman. Me and 0.1% of players helped Selena go free. I picked a path that almost no one does with Catwoman, evidently.
Including making her super mad at you?
She got super mad, but then at the end of the game, there is one line of dialogue, and it's not even a highlighted choice, like where there's only 2, and it's a big decision. It is in a random conversation with Waller, sports, and it is one line of dialogue, and it's one of 4 choices, and if you don't hit the right button, then you can't get the ending I got. And I was like, there's a lot of shit with this, man.
It's impressive.
It's really good. Evidently, you were in the minority. On Tiffany Fox, you and 80.6% of players took Tiffany under your wing. So you got a very minority ending with Tiffany.
Whatever. I don't care.
Only me and 6.2% of players watch Avesta give up her badge. I rescued Catwoman instead of Avesta.
Yeah, Vesta works for me now. She works for WinTech.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't get that. But anyway, your relationship with Joker is the crutch of this game, and it is.
Let me see if I can find
Super
my
well.
choices, because I'm on Telltale site right now.
You had to know that was coming.
Yeah, I did. That's going to be the last thing we talk about, though. I mean, it sounds super cool. I wish I had stuck with it, but I still might go back and play it by the end of the year.
It's really fun, man. I mean, even hearing all that, you have no idea how your game's going to play out until you make the choices yourself. And there are so many little things that can change. Like, we can't. We'd have to talk literally for 2 hours to cover everything. It's impressive.
It's what Telltale should have been all along.
It is.
I
They've
appreciate
evolved.
that they've gotten there.
They need to evolve it a little bit more into some of like what A Way Out's done. But they're getting there.
Eventually. With A Way Out.
Yes.
Eventually.
You'll never finish that game.
You're going to finish that game with me, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Or Boone.
Why?
Boone. But Trey don't play
It's
games.
just
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'll restart it.
I can't find it.
All right.
The hell with it.
Well, that's Batman. That was a lot of Batman talk, which is cool. One more game to talk about this week. Trey!
Man, he's taking a shit.
That's probably 100% accurate.
Life.
God of War.
Yeah, man. We should probably actually wait on Trey.
I know.
Here, I'm on.
Trey!
Trey.
Trey!
Stop taking a shit.
Hang on, he's sending you a text.
All right, there you go.
Stop taking a shit.
Wait till you get it.
What does it say?
It's just fucking rude.
What does it say?
says,
Into the microphone.
stop taking a shit.
It says at Trey Elliott. Stop taking a shit. Let's get it right.
You should have said it into Josh's mic so somebody could use it right.
That's
I've been
fair.
using it right for the last 20 minutes. Trey just wasn't here. Yeah, man. So God of War.
Yeah. So let's talk about the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And then Chuck will let us talk about the end of the game. We don't want to spoil the game.
Yeah, please no.
Yeah. I got like so many and few words about how much I appreciate this game as a whole.
It's one of the best games I've ever played.
It's so good. I think the world, the presentation, the graphics, like it just kind of hooks you like immediately. Chuck, you said that you're very, very early into the game and you're already sold on it.
I've played about an hour and a half, and this game had me like maybe 5 minutes in. The
It hooks
way
you
that
fast, man.
it mixes the sound and the graphics and the dialogue, and I mean it.
That opening cut where you go from the menu and all of a sudden you're playing the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it.
Swinging on that tree.
It just blends everything so well together, and it develops character like instantly, regardless if you've played the original God of War series or not. I mean, Kratos is Kratos. It feels like he's gone through puberty because his voice has dropped a lot. But he says
gotten
more
older.
than Zeus also, which is refreshing.
He's an actual character this time.
Everybody names Kratos when talking about awesome video game characters, and he was an iconic character from games, but he was never a great character. He is now.
Man,
Yeah.
the melee things you do when you stun people is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, like the like glory kills, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A lot
Man,
of them
that's
are real
fun.
cool.
I haven't done more than just like the draugrs, but
there's a lot.
I bet
Have you done the one where like you tackle them to the ground, you step on their head?
that's
or
the blue.
you,
That's the blue guy. That's
Yeah,
the
or
ice
you,
guy.
like,
The
reach into
chest
their collar and rip them
yes.
open. Yeah, I
That
love it.
one's the one that's
And that feels, I mean, that was classic God of War and a good inclusion into
Yeah.
that game. So where are you in the story?
I just fought the stranger, which was
God,
one
it's
of the coolest things like ever played.
It's
it was
a superhero fight. Like it's a.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that it's straight up a superhero.
It's
I
the
mean-
best fight tutorial of all time.
I mean, Conor McGregor might get arrested, but he's got work in this world because that
that's
guy is
fair.
Conor McGregor.
Like, but like running literally through a mountain. Like when you pick up that tree stump and you just stab him in the fucking
was-
sternum with it, and then run him through, or when you pick like that giant rock and you drop it on him, and literally the whole ground.
When you Spartan Rage
Shifts.
out the first time, I was like,
Oh,
my
that was
God.
badass.
I
You're
was
so
like-
much faster.
When's the last time, and that is essentially a fight tutorial, when's the last time a fight tutorial at the beginning of the game is literally up for moment of the year?
It's very high for me. There's a couple in this game that are, but it's really high. It makes such a great impression within the first roughly hour of the game or so. And you like it immediately shows you that you can play the game any way you want to. Like I fought him hand to hand. I didn't use my axe at all in that fight.
I like to switch it up.
But like it's so fun.
I like throwing my axe and wait until he was right about in my
Bring
face
it
and then
back.
calling
Rip
it
it back
back
at
and
him.
him. Yeah, that
It
was
feels
really
so,
cool.
like,
Calling
so
that axe
good.
back is the best fucking thing in a video game ever.
Feels so good.
God damn it, it feels good.
When you're like halfway through the fight and he is like, I can't feel any of this, blah blah blah, and he like heals himself, And then like later on in the fight, Kratos is standing on the other
He
side. after
wheels
climbed
himself
up.
to
Yeah, and it was like,
heal.
oh my god, he's.
But you can tell that it's taking him a lot more effort than it used to, which is really good game direction, I think. And even though that the stranger keeps saying, you're old, you're slow, you'll never catch me, that kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know. It just feels like the way that the game is directed. I don't point out game direction a whole lot, but this even from the first hour is just really
it
well
couldn't have been
done.
made better.
Yeah, and
It's
I love,
enjoyment level is subjective. I don't think this is. I would say without a doubt a top 10 game of all time as far as just quality of like made game.
So and that's like very similar to what I was going to say. Like in terms of like, because there's a school of thought, and I think we did this back when we reviewed that a perfect 10 is not a perfect game, right? It is a masterpiece.
Doesn't have to be.
It is something that you can't really envision it being better, but it does not make it perfect. I think top to bottom, this is as close as a game probably ever has gotten to being perfect. Doesn't mean it is the best, doesn't mean it is my favorite, although it's very close. I just think from graphics, presentation, fun gameplay loop, storytelling, acting, like
The story
all
in
of
this
it,
is so good.
top to bottom, it nailed. I can't imagine really where there's too much they could have improved, to the point where like it literally, it was like I played it for like 50 plus hours and couldn't stop. I love the fact
I
that
need to
it's.
see how long I played that game.
I wish there was
I'm
there
at-
was an actual.
I've
counter.
got to be at around 40.
Yeah.
Oh, is there not anywhere?
No, it really.
That-
It's like that's the one thing they could have
What
done
the
better.
fuck? It's 2018.
I know. Game's still not doing that. Pisses me off.
9.5.
And The Witcher, first of all, and The Witcher fucked it up even
I wish
worse.
PlayStation you could track
I know. I do
because the
too.
Games Hub of Microsoft at least tracks even if the individual game doesn't.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I love that they even did go back in and change the accessibility so that you could like view the writing and everything better on screen. I couldn't see shit.
Oh, it was small.
despite-
Yeah, it was small.
But
I hate
like,
when video games do that. Far Cry does it too.
They
I
patched
mean,
it
it was
fast,
it
to
was
their
the reason people did not want the Xbox and Dead Rising initially, is because standard FTVs they couldn't read anything. I love the fact that we don't really know how much time has passed in between Greece and Midgard now. Like it could be hundreds of years, it could be 10 years.
There was a
there's no real
reference at
way.
some point that made it seem.
I believe it was a while.
I mean, it definitely has been a while. I think it's been a long time. Have you?
A long while.
Yeah. Have you noticed the whole no cutting thing? Has it felt like overt to you, or because
No
the game
cutting?
does not cut?
It's almost like
There's
it's
never a
made to
loading
follow
screen.
like there's a
Oh.
like a long shot in a movie. It's
Yeah.
made to play that way where the game never cuts away unless it's an
The only time
extremely
you
intentional.
have
I mean-
a load screen is if you die, or obviously if you turn
Fast
the game off.
travel or something like
Or
that.
yeah,
Go to the
even
map.
fast travels.
So the fast travel is the
Seamless.
one, and I won't get too deep into this because when I first did it, I was like, "Holy shit!" Even fast travel was cool as fuck in this game. But like, it's the one kind of cheat. It goes to the pure white screen for like a half second, but it's still everything is done to perfectly mask when the game is loading. Like you'll get to sections later in the game
It's
when you're
immersive.
rowing down the river, and like literally, the corridors are tight in a way, and there's a curve around the corner so
Tight
that the
canyons.
game knows how.
Asteroids.
Like when it needs to load, right? And it's you're going through an area that allows you to be hidden from the rest of the world.
You're coming
while
around a
it's
curve
loading
while
the
it's
next
loading the
section.
rest of it.
Yeah,
It's incredible design.
some
for
of it's
that.
like the Tomb Raider style. Like literally, you're going through like a narrow area.
Oh yeah, like you're,
So it
you're
can lo-
shimmying
so it
along
can
the
load the
wall
next
or anything.
part.
Like that's all when it's doing its loading.
But some
and
of it's
real
more creative
intelligent.
than that, which is it takes it to the next. It's like the next level of that type of load, which is really cool.
I hope it auto saves because the menu doesn't have an exit. So I just
It does, and it autosaves often.
It
like
au-
way
okay,
more
good.
often than
Oh,
because I had to
lot.
just like turn off my PlayStation.
I was afraid, and then I learned that
I hate it when games do that.
I do too, but rarely did I ever lose more than like a minute's worth of progress.
Yeah.
I also I just got used to manually saving before I ever turned
I'd
it off.
never
just in
once
case.
manually saved that
Oh, really?
game.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out where it is. There's
Hit-
no like exit or.
Hit triangle to get into the menu on the
Once you hit start, then
once you
hit
hit
triangle.
once you're in the actual
It's not intuitive whatsoever, but
I mean, I'm not going to nitpick over that at all. I just want to make sure that my
but I mean,
shit gets
you
saved.
were kind of down going into the game,
Well,
and I was not.
I was cautious,
And I wasn't
wouldn't
super
say-
excited for this either. I mean, I had God of War 3 HD stuck in my mind, which was I
I
played
love that game, but I get it.
played 1 and 2 when they were new. 1 was a huge game for me, nothing like it at the time. It's dated now, but at the time that
It was
was something
revolutionary
else.
at the
It was
time.
awesome.
Yeah.
Loved it. And then didn't get to play WoW, so I didn't get to play. I didn't have a PS3 where I could play God of War 3 when it came out. Played it years later in the HD, and it was just too dated, and it put a bad taste. I didn't enjoy it. God of War 4-ish, Ascension sucked. That game was
It was
not
not
fun.
great.
You didn't have to go through that stupid fucking elevator thing. Did you beat that game?
No, I
Ella.
stopped.
Oh my god! It was
I
so
watched you
bad.
do it,
was
and I was like,
The
"This
Trial
looks
of
terrible."
Osiris.
Yeah, it looked terrible.
Oh, fuck that shit.
So I was not big on God of War. I didn't know about the more zoomed in over the shoulder look, which it turns out was the way to go. Like they took risk and they all worked. I didn't want Atreus with me. I don't usually like companions. Atreus is wonderful in this
He's
game.
so
Is
great.
Is it safe to say at this point, not that all companion games are good, but that like
They've gotten better. Almost all of them.
I feel like that
They figured it out.
stereotype is officially dead to
It's
me.
not-
Like there's
it's
been
not
enough.
Also, from a story standpoint, I don't
Yeah.
always. It's not. That's more often not done right now. Where I'm like, why are you here? Get out of here, or you're annoying.
But
or
like the
something
last
that.
three, I mean, this one, Bioshock Infinite, and Last of Us have just killed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
you
it's-
just
it's
named
no
the big
longer-
three for doing it right.
Yeah,
in my
it's no
opinion.
longer Resident Evil 4 with Ashley, where it's a complete escort mission the entire time.
Oh,
No,
God.
yeah,
I mean,
that's
5?
the
No,
worst.
4.
Oh, okay.
4 was the one where you had to rescue the president's daughter.
I didn't play the 4. I didn't play 4. I just know 5 got
You
you got a
played
lot
Resident
of shit for all the
Evil?
co-op stuff. So what?
You played Resident Evil?
I played some of 5.
Like,
Survive-
literally,
Don't mean to knock
I
you on
didn't-
that. It's just shocking to me.
No, yeah, I didn't.
Doesn't
beat it or
seem like your
anything, but-
style of game.
literally the strategy for Resident Evil 4 became you can put her in a dumpster and shut the dumpster, go clear the area, then take her out.
It's fun.
Or you could unlock it. You could do
Teaches
it.
you about life as well as zombies.
You could put in a cheat and put her in a suit of armor so that the villagers literally she was too heavy to be pulled to be dragged away, and then you had the freedom.
Thank you.
Like a bad one.
Thank you.
All right. Anyway,
I wish I had a PS4 Pro. Some of the edges
This
aren't
game
nearly
looks
as
good on it.
Yeah, it
it-
does.
it's not
good.
nearly as crisp as I think that it.
Did you
could
guys
be.
run it on 4K or high performance?
half the game I did 4K, and then I was watching like a playthrough early in the game, and I saw how it looks in 60 FPS, and I switched over and never switched back.
I
Yeah.
liked 4K better, but I did have a few.
See, I never had any dips when I was playing.
I
just
had some dips
liked
and
the
I had some frame rate
consistent-
dips.
I did the performance thing. I liked this game enough that I took
You
my
played it all the way
PlayStation-
through.
Well, yes, which is saying something
It
lately.
actually, well, that game especially.
But no, I also took my PlayStation, unhooked it from the living room TV, and took it into the bedroom so I could like
Play on a better
basically-
TV.
no
Play
worse,
while you're laying flat.
worse TV, but like. There's the way you guys know how my living room is. Like, it's not really
You don't
comfortable
have
to
a
like
good
hang out
area.
with Brittany and also play this video game.
That's fair.
So, like, basically, I took it in the bedroom so I could spend some time with her, and also, so I was fucking and playing God of War is what I'm trying to say.
Reverse cowgirl / doggy.
Yeah,
Space
You
X.
played the space.
Yeah, space. So how far have you gotten into the Atreus stuff? Like, I mean, you just fought the stranger.
Yeah, and I uncovered the door and said, "Let's go."
Okay, so
I'm not ready. You said it.
let's
I'm
go,
not either.
boy. Get
Let's
it right.
go, boy.
Get ready to hear boy.
He said
More
it a
than-
lot.
No.
more than you could possibly.
You don't
imagine.
know how much boy is coming.
Is
your
it
way.
Jason
Oh,
level?
God, don't say it's.
Josh,
I mean, you had to make
I
it
wasn't
weird.
even thinking about that. Good lord.
Yes,
way.
it just isn't as annoying.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, when
I bet he
Probably
says
you
it
could
500 times in the game.
you could probably count on two hands how many times he actually says Atreus in the game. He just calls him boy more often than not. But I don't know. It's been memed to death and back, but like I find it kind of endearing in a way because he just doesn't know how to connect with his son.
Someone did the Christmas story with it, and it's just there. You there, young boy.
That's funny.
But yeah, like I mean, I'm excited to see where you go. Like, because
Is there DLC coming for this game?
No.
Really?
Yeah, which I'm.
I
okay
don't
with.
want. I
Well,
want
I'll
that
talk
game
more
to be
about
what
why
it
that
is.
surprises me when Chuck leaves.
I mean,
I think there's
they've
a
also
lot of
talked about
side
there's
stuff to do,
5
too.
Yeah, there's also they have enough content written. They said for 5 games.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
This
so,
will be a trilogy. Will be my.
Oh,
guess.
I'm sure.
yeah. And
In
I
fact,
mean,
I guarantee it's a trilogy.
and
but-
where you could very clearly see it's going to go, and where it could go beyond, we'll talk about here in a minute. But
I'll just leave now.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm really glad you ended up playing it and got hooked. If you don't mind giving
Go
us
play
just a few minutes, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more spoilery
to
for
go
people.
play God of War. Yeah, Bird Dog.
Bird Dog.
Official, unofficial sponsor.
So the end of the game, he's like, oh no. Wait for the door to shut.
There
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
It is.
I'm watching you.
I think he locked it. Sounded like.
It sounded like
We're
we're
can no
dead
longer
here.
Leave.
If only there were other doors.
Man, the Lake of the Nine is so cool.
It's so like
It's one of the better like hub worlds of like an open world game.
It's not intimidatingly large to begin with.
It's not, but there's a lot to do.
There's
Yeah.
plenty to do, and I
It
love the
changes.
fact that it opens up as you play the game. Like initially,
Yeah, the first time you like the water lowers, I was like, well, shit.
yeah,
There's
it's
so
all
much more
fog.
now.
Yeah.
Like it's all fog, and you can see like the tops of some of the statues and things like that, and you can sail in like every direction. There's just nothing to fucking do.
I like that you cannot fight while in the boat. You can't be attacked.
I
Can't fight. It was a wonderful decision.
it also
It
allowed
encourages
for some of-
exploration.
It also allowed for some of
The
the best
dialogue.
dialogue in the entire game once
Easily.
you finally get Mimir. Spoilers for the
Yeah,
rest of God of
we're
War, by the
gonna
way.
spoil
Sorry
the
about
fuck
that.
out of it.
Um,
Mimir is awesome.
Mimir's the best character in this game.
Maybe he's
I
the funniest.
Yeah.
Who would you say is better? I mean, I love Kratos and I love
My-
Atreus.
no, I think it's Kratos. In the
Man.
arc of what they gave him of what he was before is unreal.
Maybe the most fun character.
Mimir is easily
is-
the most
is-
fun
is
character.
definitely- I mean, I also
What's
love
that
Brock,
dude
Brock
name?
and
Brock and
Sindri.
Sindri.
Brock is. I could.
Chuck is going to fall in love with Brock.
Well, I'll just
Dude,
go
he's so
fuck
great.
off on my own then, or fuck off out of here.
Who
Like,
called
he
up
said
your
s-
twat?
Yeah, he says so many funny lines.
I like
I
when
love that
Sindri
dude.
almost throws up all the time.
every time you hit him.
I got a little.
He
I have-
reminded me of Josh, like when he was getting
li-
queasy, and I was like,
definitely.
it's like if Josh was like a little blue dwarf. Here's a head. Oh God.
It's that to me is one. The complaints I have with this game are obviously very minute, but one of the small complaints I have is definitely that. Like towards the end, I was like, "Stop gagging! God damn it!"
Oh no, it was the best running joke for
I
me.
enjoyed it.
Man,
it was
it got on my
it was
nerves
this
towards the end.
game's dog sneezing.
Yes, like for me, and I really thought you'd love that. Like they committed to the bit; he would not stop. I loved it, man.
I found it funny early on, but
So let's
It's one of a
before we
few
get
things
into
like
more of
that.
the story, the combat.
I
did
I
you
get-
switch it?
Second best
No,
combat
I
ever.
left
Did you switch the
exactly.
controls?
Switch them.
Yeah.
Did you change the buttons? Did you go to the face buttons or stayed on the R and L?
No, yeah, I
Or
stayed the
an
way
R-
they
I
wanted
couldn't-
it to
I
be played.
couldn't Get that shit to like
Man, once
my
yeah,
hands wouldn't work that way.
You
I
just gotta
changed
give
it
it
to
time.
square
I
and
mean,
triangle.
yeah, I did that at first because that's what my hands remembered. But you played enough, and your brain
Yeah,
switches.
And once you start getting into like managing your cooldowns and knowing when you can do your runic attacks, knowing what runic attacks to choose, upgrading everything.
And upgrading Atreus a lot too,
Yeah.
man.
Did was there a particular summon you
L-
used?
lightning, and then I used his lightning arrows and the wolves.
Those are
The
what I
wolves,
stuck with
yep.
mostly.
I used
it-
the hogs a little bit.
The hogs were cool. I really
stampede.
enjoyed the squirrels or the chipmunks or whatever.
It was
that would give
surprisingly
you the,
helpful if you got in a hard fight because you could just spawn health summons like all over the place by doing it.
Yeah, I mean that was helpful. But yeah, the wolves are most of what I did. It was like one of the very few things that would stun a Valkyrie.
Yeah, you max that out and get
get
three or four. Yeah,
wolves, which was like super cool. It also looked badass. It was just like these giant lightning wolves that would like run around and attack everybody, or I guess they could be the
what arrow did you use the
Lightning.
most? Lightning. The chain effect was
chain
effect-
unstoppable.
especially when you hit a Ravager. When
Yeah.
you got to those goddamn Ravagers and you had to have them hit by an arrow to be able to attack them. When you could get the chain effect and bounce them between the two, so you had enough time to do some damage.
Yeah, if nothing else, it bought you time in a big fight. So part story, part doing with the combat here. A decision I didn't love was the permanent stay of the Blades of Chaos.
Yeah, you talked about that. I loved it.
It was
loved the
cool
elements
going to get
added
it.
to the game.
I wish it had been confined to hell, and then he went back to it. I think the combat is so much more refined and better in that game as using the axe than it is. It's good, but it's easier to use the Blades of Chaos. Far easier.
Yes, I agree with
See, I
that.
didn't get that.
It-
Man, it's so much more reach and like you can like
You can never get
swing around
surrounded, and
you.
it's made to not get surrounded. That's why it puts you in hell, because that's when they have the guys
yeah.
go all around you.
I will say I kind of had mixed feelings on the Blades of Chaos, and I talked to you about this a little bit.
Yeah, you the story thing was what.
Yeah, so story-wise, when you go to get those, and I didn't mind them actually, specifically the Blades of Chaos, but like up until that point, the story was the best part about that game to me. And then like Atreus gets sick, and clearly Kratos is like worried, and like even I don't know what he says, but they even like the dialogue says like you should hurry the fuck up and save this kid. Like you need to go do your shit, get whatever you need, and come back. And then like they weirdly chose that time to teach you like 4 different combat things. Like they gave you the Blades of Chaos. They gave you the with the Blades of Chaos, the like things I forget what they're called, the
runic
echoes or
attacks?
whatever that you grab like the green shit and like you throw it with the Blades of.
You're talking about the
orbs that
the
you like.
the winds of
hell
winds of hell.
Thank you. Yeah. Like that all gets introduced, and the whole time I was literally yelling at the TV. I just want to save my fucking kid. Like you could teach
The winds
me
of hell
this
thing
later.
didn't bother me because it was so fast.
Was very quick.
Man, to me it felt like it dragged on forever.
I mean, it's how you got back out of hell. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I get. I don't.
It's still a minor gripe, but it took me out of it a little bit. It's one of the
Mine was
only
just
2
like
times
I
that
just
happened.
like the fact that I like moving on from your past, and I get the story element of like having to embrace your past to go and facing your past.
And moving forward with
I
it.
hope the game goes forward with him as solely as the axe. I get that it probably
can see
won't
that.
because it's Kratos.
I
But I think that game, the combat is better, like and more nuanced and
I can see that.
just more well made from it. Throwing that axe, your time, it fits with what Atreus does. Like it just is more seamless. Sometimes I use the Blades of Chaos because again they were easier.
So for me, I only used the Blades of Chaos when either I was fighting a Valkyrie.
Valkyries, it was so
only
much
because
easier.
I liked having 4 runic attacks
And the
right?
reach.
It's like one of the few things.
Oh yeah, you
can
just
do to not
switch
get
out
hit.
and use all 4 of your runics.
Yeah.
Exactly, especially the one that puts the fucking fire
the
underneath
mountain?
everyone.
Is that up the mountain?
I don't know.
I
If
don't
I've
think
only
I
played
called.
4 or 5.
So there's one there's a heavy one that like you like slam the 2 blades down
Oh, and it goes-
crossed, and like every enemy on screen gets a fire
I didn't
ring
ever
of fire
get that.
underneath them. And
I
then
only
all of
used
them-
whatever had the highest damage.
It was so good, but and then only against ice guys. I liked the change up of combat. They also used it in the
in
final
the final
Baldur
fight.
But,
We'll
like,
talk about that in a minute.
The fact that like I would go up against ice guys and I'd try and use my axe and I couldn't, so I would either go barehanded. Or
Barehanded was
go-
underrated in this game too.
I loved it, especially once you start realizing that
But
that's how you build up your stun meter.
It is, but that was more intuitive when you had an axe, which the combat for you to throw the axe is built into it,
Yeah.
where it's not with Blades of Chaos. You have to actively switch off the Blades of Chaos to go barehanded.
Yeah, and that's actually what I did with the axe as well. More often than not,
Mine
I
was
just hit
when
right on the D-pad.
I threw and then I went and beat ass and then brought the thing back, man.
One of my favorite unlocks in this combat
Also, the
wise.
shield punch was the best.
Yes.
Well, yes, that was badass, but also
You're talking
that
about the deflecting,
where he would spin, hit with his shield, and then punch to the back of the shield.
that punch to the back of the shield was
the
epic.
parry the projectiles is the
That's
it
devastating.
is so awesome looking too. You just fucking throw it aside and then you just punch a fireball out at somebody like the entire distance. Oh, God, it was so cool.
The I forget, you like basically threw the axe, and then if you basically like hit triangle and like jump
When he
up in
did the
air,
automatic slam,
caught
it was an
the axe
upgrade.
and like slammed it down the
It
ground.
was an R2. It
It
was
was-
the
it was
power hit.
Like it was
of-
like you were gonna throw.
It does. Well, if
It
you
was-
had already thrown it, and instead of hitting recall, you hit
Or
you hit
L2 then R2.
for
for me it's triangle, but yeah.
Yeah.
it was an automatic recall, and he caught it in midair and slammed it
God
down.
damn it
was,
looks so cool.
and it was
And
devastating.
for me,
Good.
I was gonna say for me it was unlocking the fast recall on the fast throw, the R1 throw,
Mhm.
where like if you hit him with the precision shot in the head or whatever, it would
It-
like
explosion?
shoot up in the air, and then you
If
could
you
call
timed
it,
it
back
right,
and
yeah.
throw it back real quick, and it was just like fucking pop, pop. It was so fucking cool, man.
That-
I love the combat in this game.
That same
It was way deeper than I ever expected. Also, the pause where you could change your fighting stance and go into it and completely
never
change the
used that a
combos.
ton.
If you did, you can master
You're talking
combat.
about the realm shift or whatever.
You're like it's at the bottom of every skill tree, and it's if you start off with a light attack and you do a pause and he literally
Oh
shifts
yeah,
his
no,
feet.
it's awesome.
That's how you get to like upper level combat on that.
When you start
you
throwing
will
that
go
axe around
crazy.
your body a couple times, like oh my god, you
And the
can
axe
you
is-
clear some shit out.
Yeah, it is
Nice.
the most devastating attack in the entire game.
I will say just and
But your timing has
I
to
didn't
be
use
really
that a ton
good.
though. I did unlock pretty much everything though. I never did hit level 5 on the Blades of Chaos.
Oh, because you
have to
you're
play-
quitting on
you have to play Muspelheim.
Muspelheim and Niflheim.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
It's the
I
only way
got
to
through
get it.
3 levels and I was just like it wasn't even
There's 5.
hard. So what?
There's 5.
6, and then there's
No,
the
no, no.
second.
You can upgrade. I'm talking about on the skill tree. There's
Oh
only
yeah,
5.
well,
Oh yeah.
the axe goes up to 6, but you get all your skills at 5.
Uh-huh.
The blades go up to 5.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can't fill it out unless you
Either
go
way,
play those two.
that Muspelheim stuff
5.
like
yeah.
man, it was just too long. I was like I'm just tired of like clearing out these
There were
enemies
some
for 10
annoying
minutes.
ones, but I mean, I ended up doing it because I wanted to get the platinum trophy, and you actually,
Yeah.
you would never get the platinum because then you have to go back through and do much harder ones.
Yeah, I mean, again, that first round wasn't difficult at all. I barely
it
lost
gets hard.
health.
There's eventually one where you can't get hit by anything or it restarts it.
I
Oh,
haven't
fuck
even
that,
I haven't
yeah.
even gone to Niflheim yet.
Niflheim that's
It's
the mist one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that a lot because
It's
it's
alright.
just a maze. Like literally, like you start off and your life
It's
is
just too
perpetually going down, or there's a timer perpetually going down. When it hits 0, you start losing life. But you can buy and equip gear or get enchantments or things that like whenever you do the hard attack with the axe, the one where you like slice down on them, you gain some back. Or whenever you parry, you gain some back. And so
Yeah.
you can like
Strategy.
yeah, and you can like really fuck with it. That's also
I just had.
Three.
I was going to. I just gave it. Yeah, correct. Lockbox. Chuck need to play it, so I let him borrow my game. So I'll
That's
play all
perfectly
that.
fine.
I haven't beat all the Valkyries yet, which I'll do too.
man, that final Valkyrie fight is fucking rough.
I've heard. I just love the combat in this game, so I don't mind when something's challenging because I enjoy it. So let's talk about story because
yeah.
we've been going for a while. So
Close to 25 minutes. God of War in general.
I mean, first of all, Freya was awesome.
I
Yeah, I
love
like
Freya.
her
Most
a
of
lot.
Freya.
Yeah, you didn't
It's
like
my
the
only.
ending.
I had two complaints: was the continued use of Blades of Chaos and Freya's hard turn at the
Yeah,
end.
that's fair.
Like
It
I
didn't
get
really
where
bother
she's
me,
coming
but
from, but she went hard.
Yeah,
It was an epic speech that she gave, but I was like, "Yo, I just saved your life."
yeah. So just to get all that, because they are probably just few and far between some of the story nitpicks. The only other story issue I had, or that stood out to me, was Atreus's hard turn.
Being a bitch.
Dude,
It was the hardest
Like-
part of the game for me. I
He
like
was a
it because I
bitch,
feel like they
but I
paid
liked
it
it.
off.
I liked it initially.
It worked.
And then every time I shot a goddamn arrow and he said whatever, I was like, it's too
Whatever.
fucking much. Like, I don't want to hear him say whatever. Literally every
it
time I shoot
reminded you
someone.
of Lane, didn't it?
A little bit.
But it
Said Blaine's
It
not as good of a
led
shot.
to my favorite bit of dialogue in this game, and I wish I could
Mimir,
remember
when
it.
he was like,
Yes,
well, that's disconcerting.
Exactly. Like the first time you see Atreus, he's
Yeah.
just like, I don't care about your problems. He's like, well,
He's
that's
like,
disconcerting.
yeah, he's like, I don't care about stupid human problems. He's like, oh, well, that's not a good sign.
I loved it. Mimir was great, and
Mimir
his
was-
He was
stories
great.
are so cool.
Oh yeah, the lore. I loved unlocking the lore. You're right. This is a big Thor game, and learning about all that. And I like that this didn't focus on Thor, and it made Baldur the
But
big
it's
bad. Also,
about
Thor is totally going to do it. Did you get the true ending?
You didn't go back to the house at all after the game?
No, I didn't know that was a thing. Why the fuck did anybody tell me
The
that?
game does, first of all, but yeah.
It's like you should return home
The
for
whole-
so long rest and all this other stuff. Atreus
Oh
says it
no,
to you.
I like walked down the.
But I'll tell it
stairs
to you
or
because it's a small thing, but you should still go do it to see it.
yeah.
You go lay down, and it cuts to a black for the first time.
It's like many or a few years
yeah,
later.
and it says several years later, and you're laying, and all of a sudden it's like when this big storm hits, and you're laying in bed, and they pop up ready for battle, and he's like, "Get down!" And he kicks open the door, and he's like, "Who are you?" And it's a man, and a cloak blows back, and Mjolnir's sitting there, and just lightning is cracking around him like crazy,
like
and you're
Ragnarok is fucking happening. Thor is there, and shit is gonna go down. Oh my god, I can't.
Thor
wait
is
to
the big
fight
bad
Thor.
of 2, and Odin's going to be the big bad of 3. It's following very much the pattern of the original, where
Yeah.
like Zeus was the big bad at the end of the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Odin will be that in this one. But Baldur was a great way to start this, and
Yeah.
mixed in with Freya and all the revelations. And are you ever going to go beat all the Valkyries?
No, probably not.
Freya,
I beat
if
a
you do that,
couple.
you find out Freya is actually the queen of the Valkyries.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the only way to unlock that. But just getting there, Baldur killing Thor's sons throughout. That was
yeah, those fucks.
you kind of don't even hear. We don't want to talk about that. But that was really cool.
It was.
like spying on them and go throughout, and then the fight was badass.
all
Yeah.
around the dead fucking corpse of a giant with a giant chisel through his head.
That shit was awesome, and we'll talk about the final fight in a second, because that was even more awesome. But yeah, I went up there. I was like, this guy is huge. I was like, he felt very God of War, and like the dragons.
It was the most God of War moment. That and the fight with the dragon in the mountain,
That shit was awesome.
in the fucking mouth of the dragon, like
Yeah.
stabbing him with the axe and shit.
It was
and, like,
so cool, man.
God, it was
Also,
awesome.
World Serpent is one of the coolest fucking things ever. Like,
Jormungandr.
hearing him talk-
Jormungandr, yeah.
God damn it, it's awesome.
It bothers me.
the
The coolest scene in the game is when you've built the attachment to Atreus. He's fallen sick. I legit care that this kid is dying, and I'm rushing, and the lighting drops, like that storm hits, and you're sailing through the witch's cave trying to get over there, and it's frantic. Or you're not in the cave; you're through the forest at that point. Or you've gone through, and you're in the forest.
You're going
because you're outdoors.
Giant elevator back up to
and all of a sudden and he's like, someone's calling the snake.
And
you never find out.
Yeah, you never find out who it is.
It's coming.
Man. Yeah,
it's coming.
I think I forgot about
and
that.
I have theories. I'm telling you. You time travel in the future along with Jormungandr, and it's you.
I'm
telling you, in the new part of the game, it's going to be you. In one of the next games, you will go back to that point and call the snake, because they say when Ragnarok happens, the Jormungandr that you are there with has already been through Ragnarok, and he gets sent back in time.
Oh shit!
The fact that there's time travel in this game and that it feels right and that it's done so well, like the reveal at the end of this game, fucking blew my mind.
He's Loki.
Yeah.
I
lost it.
I so lost. I was like, "What the fuck did
but
you
even
just
before
say?"
that, like
Walking
I was
through
okay.
Jotunheim,
And when you get through Jotunheim, it's a great payoff. And I was okay with like all the twists there. I didn't even care about the Loki thing until I got it, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
His mother had clearly
she was a giant.
Yeah.
Had been there, had known this.
Baldur
was
was
gonna happen.
after Frey in it.
The Fae.
Yeah, I think it's just Faye.
Yeah.
It's very close to Freya. Shockingly close.
It really is.
But he was really after her and the boy the whole time.
Yeah, Loki, essentially.
But more, I mean, she was the last giant. He was the last one he's trying to clear out. I mean, it changes the way you look at the whole game.
The mural on the wall.
The mural was so
Of
badass.
him essentially what appears to be killing Kratos.
I don't think it is.
I hope not.
Have you seen the stopped thing of it? It looks like he's holding him and he's dying. So we don't know if he killed him, but he's definitely holding him. And Kratos looked very much okay with it.
I mean, I think that also could be more the
But
development.
it could
of
be the whole
relationship.
It could be the. Atreus acting. Is this just how it is? Do sons kill their fathers?
that's
with
true.
gods and stuff like that.
But like that mural is taken away from Jotunheim and is in your backyard essentially. Like the thing you drop on that like shifted the ground in the stranger fight is that same mural. It's just tattered and you can't really see it, but it's that chunk of wall ripped out and brought back home.
Yeah, there's a lot of little stuff that I need to apparently read up on.
The look of Jotunheim, and you look out at the slow reveal of the valley and seeing all the giants are dead.
Those mountains are dead giants. I'm like, oh my god, this is one of the coolest.
And I want to know what
designs.
happened to him.
I know. We're gonna go to present Jotunheim. At
Yeah,
some
because
point.
that map was big and it was all clouded over. But I guarantee that's developed and like they know what that looks like, but you just aren't allowed to see it yet.
Also, what is one of the story things I liked the most is when you got to Jotunheim and you were like climbing up the mountain or whatever.
You finally give him the ashes.
Well, yes,
That
but
was
I was
awesome.
convinced. I was like, this is a fucking video game.
He calls him son.
it's gonna be another fight.
Yep, some motherfucker's gonna come out of here
Nope.
and try to stop me, and I'm gonna have to fight him, and I'm gonna be pissed. And they did not do it, and I was
It
so
was
happy.
wonderful. And leaving Mimir behind with Brock and Sindri.
Yeah,
and,
like
so it's
I
just
was
you
like,
and your
oh,
son.
It's just the last level basically is.
It's also the first time he calls him son.
Yeah.
It's also one of the reasons I really, really loved Mimir in this game is also like he was like, I shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Like he understood the gravity.
Flipping the temple. We forgot about that. Flipping the temple was bad.
Oh yeah,
Just
the
completely
Sears temple.
badass.
God, the game is just filled with like moment after moment for me. Like it's so cool. The design is so cool. Every little corner of that world and everything that's in it is awesome. I didn't feel like it was annoying slightly because I wanted to go back and get the trophy to go find the ravens, but it ended up not really being that bad in the end of it all.
I got 39 on my first playthrough. Like I'm sure I could find them. I don't care. I don't care about platinum. So
the way the world opens up, the like almost Metroidvania style of being able to go back to all these things, and like as soon as you got those blades, I started thinking, I was like, where did I see everything, or
everyone
where
was
can I shoot
vines.
lightning and all that shit? Like it was so cool, and there were so many little micro puzzles.
Realm tears.
The realm
finding
tears were cool.
hidden realm tears. Like you have to light up beacons. Oh, there's a realm tear.
Yeah, every little like ghost side story had its fun like depth to it. The one about the father who was stabbed in the back by his son.
Yeah, it
like,
became a treasure hunt.
And the fact that all of that filtered into the overall story, like Atreus, like every time he came back, it was like,
it worked in with lore.
why would you like? I can't imagine somebody killing their own father. Why would you do that? And like knowing that that's Kratos' biggest secret that he doesn't want to reveal to him, the darkness of his past. And one of my favorite touches in this game is escaping hell with him on the boat. Which, first of all, I never saw that you got that close to that fucking bird, and I want to fight that bird.
It was terrifying.
I want to fight that bird.
I was positive I had to fight them, and it may be one of my few disappointments in the game because I was like, that's a God of War fight. I saw that fucker, and I was like, well, that fucker, we're going at it. And you never do. But I guarantee we will at some point. They're saving him. But yeah, you fly right by him, and I was like poised on the boat. I was like, bring it on, motherfucker.
I don't know how I missed it. I think it was just so focused on Atreus.
I've got a screenshot on my PS4 as I'm going by because it's the closest you get. I was like, look at this
That's
thing.
cool.
But the fact that when you see the fight between him and Zeus, like when it's just hell fucking with Kratos,
Yeah.
the fact that it's the PS2 model is so cool. And it fits well. It doesn't like, did you notice that? Like it very clearly was not
The
like
old
a
school
model that fit within this world.
Oh no.
Yeah, like it was the old PS2 like Kratos and Zeus fight. It was really blocky, but it worked because it was a spirit
Athena
realm
appearing
thing.
was
Yeah.
super cool too. I forgot about that.
And walk like the shot. I understand you wanted to get to saving him,
Yeah.
but when you like stand up and you're like, "But I'm your monster no more," and you're holding the blades and they're on fire, and he just turns and walks to the door and walks
Mimir's
straight
like,
through.
Greek, are we?
He's so good.
I love that when you do Namir, you sound like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Now I kind of wish that he
Mimir
sounded like
sounded
Mrs. Doubtfire.
But yeah, I can't wait. Like it's absolutely like, and I hate having so many. I don't hate having so many new games because
Can we have a new game within 3 years, you think?
Possibly. I think
They
I
built
hope.
the game now.
that's the thing is they did say like, yes, we've got 5 games, but we don't want you to think it's not going to take 5 years to make this the game again. So like, I could totally see them like next year. Their one more thing at E3 being,
Another
Oh
God
my
of
God,
War
yeah.
for 2 years later.
yeah, I want to see what Thor looks like. I loved tearing down that statue, that little side quest, and you mentioned it earlier.
Oh,
the
right before the
dragons.
first dragon.
God,
So-
the dragons were so fucking cool.
The first time I saw a dragon, I was like, oh, he's big.
Yeah, the dragons
then-
were awesome.
Because I went to the Thor statue and I was like, what's over on the other? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was
On
like,
the-
that's
That's
a
exactly what I
dragon.
found the first one too.
One of my favorite like little touches in this game though is seeing Jormungandr everywhere. Like when you go up to Kronensgard,
You didn't know he was there.
that, but when you go to Kronensgard where the third dragon is,
Yeah.
and
I never found
he's
the third
just
dragon.
like, so it's in the northwest corner of the map.
Mhm.
There's a quest that you get to go
It's a
to
side
that
quest that
yeah.
you get towards the end
It's
of the
another one
game.
of those like small little temples from Brock and Sindri.
It's what
Um,
if you sailed around in the Lake of Nine and there was one that had a locked door you couldn't get through.
Okay.
It's a side
Yeah.
quest to let you
Once
through
you're
that
able to
door.
go there, yeah, that's where the final dragon is. But like seeing his just scaled body like in the background all throughout there is awesome. But then yeah, it took me about 10 hours into this game, but finally I was like, oh my, there's a giant snakehead.
Just
I thought it was a mountain. The whole game I thought it was a mountain.
when you sail underneath them and you just hear,
Hear-
"Grrr," and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't like snakes. Like the whole time. Quickly, the final fight was badass.
I
and
loved
Freya made it even more awesome.
Oh,
when she
when she took
first
over-
off, she has the power of Legion because I read my journal. I was like, oh, she's Legion. That's insane. She can resurrect multiple demons. And then she brought the giant back, and when he stands up, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
God, Balder was so
Faramir or whatever
cool.
his name
Yeah.
is, the
And just
giant.
Balder was a better villain than he had any right to be.
Yeah, I mean, like especially because like at the beginning I was like, oh, well, this is cool. He's
Mistletoe
like a-
was an odd choice, but is that real lore?
I don't know. Oh, like to make him not feel.
No,
No.
that mistletoe broke that
Oh
curse.
yeah. I honestly don't know.
Probably, if I had to guess. but
Maybe. Otherwise,
It's
it's
poison.
a random choice.
That's why I feel like it's probably
It
actual
is-
lore.
it
it
is
was
also
cool. He
poison,
went to
though,
punch,
like-
and you're like, Atreus, and he's like, it's not my blood, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I loved his like but that moment of fear though, right? Like about Atreus,
yeah, your
like-
son.
Like,
The relationship is wonderful, and
development.
Atreus is a badass like helper in the game. Like the combat is integrating Atreus in your combat is essential to
Yeah.
mastering that combat.
I found switching the buttons to make that way easier because I
Yeah.
could just tap the trigger like while I was still fucking up
So, yeah,
dudes with
for
the
my-
axe.
I was hitting square
So
faster
easy.
than I could. Yeah,
Gotcha.
your hands would get used to it.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure they did, but
It also, for me, it helped that I just spent 40 hours playing Assassin's Creed at the end of last year as well, which also made the switch to the R and L
Gotcha.
triggers for combat.
I don't like it.
Man, yeah, I loved it.
Live in the now,
I
Trey.
will not. I will live in the then.
But that was probably the most we've talked about a single video game in a very, very long time.
Probably
Thank you
since
guys.
Zelda.
If you, since probably longer than Zelda, honestly, it was almost an hour. But thank you guys for sticking through. If you've beaten this game and played it, or if you have your own thoughts about it, even if it differs from ours, you're wrong. But feel free to share it with us on FFA Podcast Twitter. At FFA Podcast on Twitter for the real way I should have been saying that. Or make sure you hit us up in the links in our outros. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next week.